We stand at a moment where the very office of the presidency is becoming something the founders never envisioned. The Constitution gave us a republic and not a throne. Yet today, the presidency is being transformed into a seat of concentrated power, an executive branch that commands loyalty, silences debate, and assumes authority never granted to it by the people. It was in another time of peril that Thomas Paine took up his pen in the bitter winter of 1776 as Washington's army was bloodied, demoralized, and shrinking by the day. Paine wrote a series of pamphlets called The Crisis. His words were not for kings or parliaments, they were for the people, reminding them what they were fighting for. Washington ordered Paine's words read to his troops on the eve of their daring crossing of the Delaware, when the cause of liberty seemed almost lost. Those words rekindled resolve and turned retreat from New York into victory at Trenton, New Jersey. So now, at this day and age, in the spirit of Paine, I share with you an updated crisis for our time. These are the times that try American souls. The fair-weathered citizen, the sunshine patriot, will in this crisis shrink from the service of their country. But the one who serves now in the face of demagoguery deserves the love and thanks of every citizen. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation. The harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheaply, we esteem too lightly. It is freedom's price that gives it value, and if heaven has set a proper price upon its gifts, it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as individual liberty should not be held dear. Today, a president, armed with a plan to consolidate power, declares that the executive alone should direct the fate of our schools, our votes, our bodies, even our speech. If such binding is not servitude, then servitude has no meaning upon this earth. For unlimited power belongs only to the divine, never in a single office in a Washington, D.C. Some may say we resisted this drift too soon or too late. My opinion is simple. Had we acted earlier, it would have been better. But for too long, we failed to use our discontent wisely. We shrugged, we scrolled, we waited for someone else to act. But let us blame none but ourselves, and let us remember no great deal is lost. What we see is not conquest, but ravage, assaults on open debate, attempts to suppress the vote, efforts to silence teachers, museums, journalists, and citizens alike. Yet the spirit of America, once roused, can still repulse these acts. Time and firm resolution will recover what has been stolen. History shows us that fear spreads quickly. Lies about elections, fear stirred against neighbors, threats against those who count the votes. These can shake a nation, but truth has toppled tyrants before. Nathan Hale had his honor, Dorothea Dix her compassion, Harriet Tubman her courage, Rosa Parks, her seat. Daniel Ellsberg had his documents, yet each, in their time, shook the foundations and moved the nation toward liberty. I have witnessed citizens endure intimidation who saw their freedoms tested and their voices doubted. They bore these trials with a spirit worthy of the founders. Harassed, fatigued, yet steadfast in their wish that Americans would rise and drive back overreach. There is a firmness in the American mind that cannot be unlocked by trifling issues. But once opened, it reveals a cabinet of fortitude, and that spirit, seen at Valley Forge, at Gettysburg, at Normandy, and at Selma, is with us still. It is a blessing that God has preserved us for this hour, with the health and courage to flourish even under trial. So let us not shrink. Let all America rise again in defense of liberty, not as partisans, but as patriots. For if the presidency welcomes an empire, America will be governed by fear. But if the people prevail, she will remain what she was always meant to be, a republic of hope and aspiration. Revive our republic.